The day John F. Kennedy was assassinated, Martin Luther King delivering the I Have a Dream speech, the day Ronald Reagan said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, when 9/11 occurred, these were all huge moments in history that stopped almost everything that was going on in Americans' lives. And many people during those times remember where they were and what they were doing when they witnessed it. What is that time stopping, history setting moment for our generation? For millions of Americans, that moment of our generation is the election of the 44th President of the United States. On November 5th, 2008, our dear President Barack Obama was elected, becoming the first African American president of this country. His slogan of change we need and his infamous yes we can speech was like a breath of fresh air to this country in the middle of a recession. During his presidency, he won the Nobel Peace Prize, passed the Affordable Care Act, fought for heavier gun regulations, brought our troops out of Afghanistan, and effectively eliminated Osama bin Laden as a threat to American security. First, let's talk about our dear president's most historical moments. So, to start off, one of our president's biggest accomplishments was passing the Affordable Care Act. It made sure that every American had proper insurance, health insurance. Obama finally found and had SEAL Team 6 apprehend Osama bin Laden on May 2nd, 2011, was executed in a firefight. This was a super big moment in American history. Now let's look at some of our dear president's other notable moments. After Osama bin Laden was eradicated, I think it was about December of 2011, our dear President Obama announced that troops would pull out of Iraq, iterating that the war was more senseless than a car with no tires on it. He was careful when announcing this. He did not want to describe the war as a victory because he believed there is no victories come from war. After being faced with many different terrorist issues such as the Boston bombing and Sandy Hook shootings, Obama called for both sides to come together and pass stricter gun regulations. Now let's look at why President Obama was so successful, not only with the American people, but kind of with Congress and with lawmakers on both sides. It was because although he faced a lot of adversity during the campaign road, re-election, and his presidency, he was an extremely relatable person. Obama spoke in a way that moved many Americans. He connected with his constituents. William Shakespeare once said, "Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice." And our dear president was one of the few with a voice. His strong speech abilities absolutely helped him in election and re-election, along with helping him during his presidency. To conclude, I believe our dear President Barack Obama was an exponential person, and I am glad I was alive to see our first African American president. He brought to end a decade-long war. He made sure American people had proper health insurance, and he fought for what was right. President Obama was a people's person. He was not worried about liberal or conservatism. He was worried about America. I would like to close from a quote from his 2008 campaign speech. Where we are met with cynicism and doubts and those who will tell us we can't, we will respond with that timeless creed that sums up the spirit of the people. Yes, we can.